Welcome, everyone. Today, what I want to do is go through some demonstrations and have you see actually how this works. And I'm crossing my fingers that everything goes well. I'm already having a glitch with the part of Alaric's video showing up, so I'm not sure what's going on there. But on this, what I really want you to see is that personalized, customized AI gives you different answers. It is a whole different experience. And most of us were using the generic AI instead of the customized, personalized AI. And again, remember that even if there's all the knowledge out there in the world, but it doesn't understand you, it's not going to be able to give you those pinpoint interactions, those things where it really shows the difference and has you shine. So today what I want to do is go through some different demonstrations comparing these. And the thing I want you to realize is I'm not comparing ChatGPT versus Gemini versus Claude or Grok. What I'm comparing is one that is trained to know you and personalized on you versus a generic one. So these models are all changing. Like ChatGPT might be the top, and then next week it's Google Gemini, and then Claude steps up, and it's constantly changing. But what isn't changing is, does it know you? Does it really know you well? So I was going to play the Alaric thing, but that's not working. So I'm just going to go straight into the prompts and show you what's going on here. And if I go onto here, I copied and pasted some prompts. So here's the first one. How can I best deal with my self-doubt? And this is the one that's trained on my system. So we'll see what it says. Okay, great question. Self-doubt can be one of the biggest barriers to progress, creativity, and fulfillment. Let's unpack that and deal with it effectively, both in the moment and long term. Ask yourself, where's the self-doubt coming from? Is it rooted in past experiences? Okay, and then self-doubt often whispers, I'm not good enough. Listing past wins. Remind yourself of times you succeeded. What's the evidence that I'm not capable? Okay, and then 3, take action anyway. Imperfect action beats perfect inaction. And then start small, micro steps. Talk to a mentor or coach. Sometimes we're too close to the problem. Reframe it. Visualize for your success. Repeat this process. If you like, I can help you create a personalized action script. Okay, so that was that one. I thought it'd be a little different, but that's what it is. So now we'll try this on Claude and see what it says. Hopefully we will. Okay, here it goes. Self-doubt is one of those universal human experiences that can feel isolating, but you're definitely not alone in wrestling with it. The good news is that there are some practical ways to work with those doubtful thoughts rather than being overwhelmed by them. Start by recognizing that self-doubt often stems from your inner critic, that voice that tends to focus on what could go wrong or what you're not good enough at. Try to notice this when the voice gets particularly loud. Okay, so it's going through this. One helpful approach is to try to treat your self-doubt like would a worried friend, like you would a worried friend. That voice that says, you're going to mess this up, try responding with the same kindness you'd show someone else. I understand you're trying to do. Okay, so anyway, all through here, you can see it's all, so far, these are all fairly similar. I'm a little surprised that mine wasn't a little more specific, but we'll see what happens here on Grok. Okay, Grok is saying self-doubt can feel like a heavy weight. Okay, acknowledge and reframe the thoughts. Okay, this aligns with your interests in moving forward when feeling stuck. Take small actions. Self-doubt often grows when you're paralyzed by indecision or fear of failure. Pick one small task related to your goal, something that can move the needle. Practice self-compassion. Okay. And then seek feedback, not validation. Instead of finishing for reassurance, or instead of fishing for reassurance, ask trusted peers or mentors for specific constructive feedback. Okay. And limit comparison. Okay. And then quick action for today, spend 5 minutes journaling about a recent win. Okay. And if we did this on Google Gemini, same question. Let's see what we're going to get here. Okay, self-doubt's a common human experience, but it can be debilitating if not addressed. The good news is there are effective strategies to deal with this. Okay, so cultivate self-compassion, be kind to yourself, acknowledge common humanity, practice self-soothing, challenge the negative thoughts, cognitive restructuring. So again, they're talking about your inner critic, reframe the negative thoughts, recognize cognitive distortions, thinking errors, journaling. A lot of them have brought up journaling. Okay, build self-confidence, monitor your progress, take action. The best way to overcome self-doubt is often just to start, embrace the growth mindset, cultivate positive habits and surroundings. Okay, so this is prioritize self-care, seek professional help if needed. Okay, and so these are all kind of giving you very similar. So let me ask this one, which would be a little more specific, and see what it comes up with. All right, I'm going to ask it a different question here. Am I spelling that word wrong? Oh, I guess I did spell it wrong. Okay. So what would my mentor counselor recommend for me today? So now it's thinking. Based on your previous conversations, your mentor counselor will recommend focus on strategies to deal with self-doubt and build greater self-confidence. Here's a summary of your comprehensive approach we discussed earlier. Cultivate self-compassion. Okay, so it's really going through what it just went with me, because that's what it knows, right? Seek professional help. Okay, so it's not really giving me what a mentor counsel would do. And realize I spelled this wrong on all these. Okay, so let's see what Grok would say. If I asked about them, based on your current struggle with self-doubt, whoops, going a little faster, and your past interests in personal development, moving forward when feeling stuck and overcoming procrastination, here's what a mentor counsel might recommend. Morning reflections, set one micro goal, self-compassion pause. Okay, seek constructive input, evening review and celebrate why this plan. Okay, gives you what. Okay, so far, this is more what I was expecting, this kind of generic thing. I realize I gotta learn how to spell counsel right. Okay, so we're asking Claude here. I don't have any information about your mentor counsel or what advice they typically give you. Could you tell me more about them? Are you referring to a specific person who mentors you? Okay, so this is actually saying I don't know who it is, right? Where Google Gemini and Grok just kind of assumed it was on procrastination, doubt, the things I brought up earlier. Now let's go with ChatGPT, which I've trained it in my system to know you. So let's see what it says. Okay, great question. Let's imagine your mentor counsel, a group of wise guides who knows you well, understands you. Trust yourself more. You've done the work, learned the lessons, and grown from every challenge. Focus on a few things. Okay, so this here is, I actually have a mentor counsel. So this is something where I might say, because right now I'm surprised by this. It's acting like it doesn't know me. Okay, I have a mentor. I'd like to have them address this question, not theory. Okay, let's see what it says here. Maybe all these things are just a little cranky today. I see you want a direct response from your personal mentor counsel, grounding your relationships with them. Let's treat this as a real mentor council meeting. Yeah, because I have mentor council meetings, and I assume that's what it wanted, but that would do. But it apparently just went into its own generic default here. So the mentor council. So today I've been talking about self-doubt, right? So my mentor council, one of the people on there is John Wooden, the famous UCLA basketball coach. Now, obviously, he's passed away, but ChatGPT knows his writings, his books, his interviews. So this is what John Wooden would say to me, because it's assuming I have all this self-doubt, since that's what I've been bringing up. Self-doubt is like a weed. It grows in the cracks of your preparation and mindset. Every time you prepare thoroughly, review your progress, and align your actions with your principles, you weaken self-doubt's grip. Focus on your fundamentals, your daily habits, your consistency, and your integrity. Remember, be quick, but don't hurry. Don't rush the process. Trust that your preparation will serve you. Okay, so that's John Wooden, the famous basketball coach. Okay, now another coach I have on here is Pat Riley, who's in charge of the Miami Heat. Self-doubt is a momentum killer. When you start questioning yourself, it's easy to slip into hesitation and second guessing. You need to build unstoppable momentum, action that's consistent even when it's small. If you feel doubt, lean into your routines. Execute the basics. The confidence comes from the process, not the outcome. So we got two basketball coaches so far. Then we have John Benson, who's a copywriter out of Florida. Bryan, self-doubt is a signal that your internal story is misaligned with your potential. Flip the script. Instead of asking, what if I fail? Ask, what if I succeed beyond my expectations? Then build a marketing message to yourself, your best self, reminding you of your strengths, your wins, and the lives you've already changed. Your voice matters. So John Benson is a marketing guru out of Florida. Amazing, amazing stuff. So anyway, this is AI knowing John Benson, knowing he's a copywriter, and it already kind of just shifted it into him saying, flip the script, copywriting, right? I didn't have to tell it that that's what he was. And then Ray Dalio, you may have heard of him, one of the best financial investors up there with Warren Buffett. And he says self-doubt is a form of untested assumptions. Run a believability check. Ask yourself, who would I trust to answer this question for me? What would they say? You've already chosen us as your counsel. Use your voice as a filter. You have evidence of your competence, Bryan. Reflect on your history of overcoming obstacles. The data is in your favor. Okay, so he believes in believability, using data, looking at the past to predict the future. And this makes sense that he would say this to me, if you know anything about Ray Dalio. Okay, and then this is also giving me my next self, because I have who I am right now, and then I have my next self, which is who I'm becoming. So, hey, I see you. I've been where you are, feeling unsure, doubting the next step. Here's what I tell you. I'm proof that you're growing and evolving. Every time you face self-doubt and take action anyway, you build me, your next self. Remember, doubt doesn't mean you're broken. It means you're stretching. Keep going. Okay, and then here's the unified message of my whole mentor council here. And I have more members in this, but different ones pop up depending on what they feel the issue is and if they feel they have the best message for me. So Bryan, self-doubt is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign you're at the edge of growth. Trust your preparation, execute your fundamentals, and lean into action. Surround yourself with reminders of your wins and lessons learned. When in doubt, ask, what's the smallest step I can take to move forward? Then take it. Every step builds momentum, and momentum crushes doubt. Okay, so those are some of the ones that I wanted to show you here. And the first one, obviously, they were all kind of the same, okay? And when you do this live, you have no idea what's going to happen, what's going to go on. Even the trained AI I have on my system, I had to kind of remind it, like, look, I'm not asking for generic advice here. My mentor counsel, which it knows, but for some reason it didn't want to remember here today. And Claude was the one that showed, hey, I don't even know what you're talking about here, right? But the other two, Google Gemini and Grok, they just kind of started giving me advice. But this is something that you can do. You can train your AI to know you, and when it does, you're going to see a big difference in the responses. And if I went through and did more of these, I could pick different ones. Like I'll pick this one to see if this one would give us a different one. Let's see, go back to here. Okay, so if I go to here and I type in this one here, what's my root cause of not living to my full potential? Okay, well, let's see what it says. I don't know the specific details of your life, circumstances, or personal history, so I can't pinpoint your exact root cause. But I can share some common patterns that often keep people from reaching their full potential, and maybe one will resonate with you. Okay, so I really like how Claude is saying, like, look, I don't know, but here's some generic advice, right? Let's see what Grok says when I type the same thing of what's my root cause of not living to my full potential. Okay, identifying the root cause. Ooh, this is going really fast. Okay. Identifying the root cause of not living to your full potential is a deeply personal exploration, but drawing from common psychological patterns in your prior conversations about self-doubt, feeling stuck, and procrastination. Here's a tailored approach. Okay, so based on your interest in personal development, so it's looking at my prior chats and trying to piece this together, right? Now, it doesn't have a comprehensive system where it knows me, but it is trying to do this. It's trying to look at, okay, you have fear of failure or rejection, okay, perfectionism, lack of clarity on goals or values. Without a sense of what your full potential means to you, it's hard to take that action. Limiting beliefs, okay, those are common. Overwhelm or lack of systems. How to identify your specific root cause. Okay, so again, it's going into journaling. Those are more generic kind of advice. If fear driven, if perfectionism, if goals are unclear. Okay, but this is giving you a lot of things here, a lot of good things. And it's kind of just extrapolating from prior conversations I had. And it's actually not horrible, but it's not as thorough as it could be if it knew me well. Now we'll go into Gemini here and ask the same question. What's my root cause of not living to my full potential? And it's thinking, okay, I understand you're looking to understand the root cause of not living to your full potential. This is a very insightful and personal question that requires a deep understanding of your individual experiences, beliefs, and circumstances. As an AI, I don't have the ability to delve into your personal history or provide psychological assessments. Okay, this is true. If it doesn't know you, it cannot do that. But if it knows you, it can. Now, let's go to ChatGPT trained on my system, and hopefully this goes through and doesn't give me generic stuff here. Okay, excellent question. One that cuts to the core of growth and transformation. Let's turn this direct response from your mentor counsel. Okay, so it's going with my mentor counsel because that prompt was pretty generic. What's the root cause of not living to my full potential? Okay, and it decided, okay, you were talking to your mentor counsel earlier. Now we're going to go right back to them. And John Wooden is saying the root cause is often a lack of clarity and commitment to the fundamentals. It's like, if you know basketball, if you can't pass, rebound, dribble, if you have not mastered those fundamentals, then you're really going to struggle. So I can see why he's saying that. And he's saying you're capable, but sometimes you get caught up in too many directions at once, projects and ideas and new possibilities, without fully mastering the basics and executing consistently. Focus on the fundamentals of your system. Okay, so he's really saying pick a lane, get focused on it, don't be scattered, And Pat Riley is saying it's about momentum again. You sometimes overthink or doubt yourself in key moments, like deciding whether to take a bold step. Now, this live right here to me is taking a bold step because I'm going through this and I really don't know what these answers are going to be. But he's saying, like, be fully committed, no halfway measures here, right? Be fully committed, no halfway measures. That's Pat Riley. And then we got John Benson. The root cause is the story you sometimes tell yourself. So that sounds like what a marketer would say, right? A copywriter would say, look at your story. If you look at Star Wars, Luke Skywalker, his story is the big part of the whole thing. And then this line right here, done beats perfect every single time. And I like that. If you get something done, that's better than if it's perfect, but you never get it done, right? And then Ray Dalio is the root cause is a hidden attachment to external validation. So I'm wanting other people to praise me, to validate me, to give me worth. And that can be by how many people are watching this. Anyway, so you can see here that this one is a little more specific, and that is really what I wanted to point out today, is that you can see when you can have this customized to you, it's going to know you a lot better. And when it doesn't, frankly, it doesn't know what to do. Like with Claude was really honest and saying, I don't know what to do. The other ones were at least extrapolating prior chats and conversations I had and trying to piece it together. And hopefully you see the value in this. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. And if you want to go to my free live webinar, I can see you on Saturday morning. I'm grateful that you're here. And remember, personalized AI is the way of the future, and why not embrace it now? Have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow.